You ever hear the one about how a lost dog saved Manchester United from going bankrupt? No? Then grab your dinner plate and settle in, because this fact and 9 others paint a picture of a club that's been a hell and back, and still came out wearing red. And hey, before we dive in, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let me know in the comments which of these facts surprised you the most. All right, let's get into it. A missing dog saved Manchester United. Yeah, you heard that right. In 1901, when the club was still called Newton Heath, they were drowning in debt and on the verge of collapse. But then came a St. Bernard named Major, yes, the dog. After a failed fundraising event, the team captain Harry Stafford's dog wandered off and ended up with a local businessman named John Henry Davies. Turns out Davies wasn't just a dog lover, he was also rich. After chatting with Stafford, Davies decided to invest in the club, which led to a full-on resurrection. New owners, new colors, and a brand new name, Manchester United, reborn in 1902. A dog wandered off and accidentally saved a football club. You can't make this up. They almost weren't called Manchester United. Speaking of names, Manchester United wasn't the first pick. When Davies and his crew saved the club, they held a little boardroom brainstorming session. Top contenders? Manchester Central and even Manchester Celtic. Thankfully, they went with Manchester United because, honestly, can you imagine singing Glory, Glory, Manchester Celtic? Doesn't quite hit the same. Old Trafford got bombed in World War II. March 11, 1941. Old Trafford was hit during a German air raid in World War II. The damage was brutal. Dressing rooms, offices, the main stand, all gone. But here's where it gets oddly wholesome. Manchester City, yes them, offered their main road stadium so United could keep playing. They even broke an attendance record there in 1948 when 83,000 fans showed up for a match against Arsenal. Say what you want about rivalries, but in times of crisis, football clubs do come together. A time capsule is buried in Old Trafford. In 2010, to celebrate 100 years of Old Trafford, the club buried a time capsule right between the dugouts. What's in it? Club memorabilia and a piece of history intended for fans a century from now. It was placed next to the old players' tunnel, the only part of the original stadium still intact, and was buried with the help of Archibald Leach's descendants. He's the guy who designed the stadium in the first place. Basically, it's like football's version of a message in a bottle, only more nostalgic. Real Madrid and Liverpool helped United after the Munich air disaster. Now this one, it's different. February 6, 1958. The darkest day in Manchester United history. A plane carrying the team back from a European Cup match crashed on takeoff in Munich. 23 people lost their lives, including 8 players and 3 coaches. Others, like Bobby Charlton and Bill Fowlkes, survived, with scars that ran far deeper than physical. What happened next showed the football world at its best. Real Madrid's president Santiago Bernabeu offered United a European Cup, which they declined. But even more touching, he offered them Ballon d'Or winner Alfredo Di Stefano on loan, and even offered to pay half his wages. The FA blocked it, but the gesture was unforgettable. Madrid played charity matches with United and helped raise money. And Liverpool? Bill Shankly offered United 5 first-team players, and even said they'd pay their wages. Imagine that today. Liverpool helping United with players. That's how big the tragedy was. Old Trafford used to be bigger. When Old Trafford first opened in 1910, it could hold a whopping 80,000 fans. That made it the biggest club stadium in England. Over time, renovations and safety laws brought that number down to around 74,000. But back in the day, it was a concrete giant with standing terraces and no roof, just pure atmosphere. Sir Matt, Busby played for City and Liverpool. Here's one for the pub quiz. United's most legendary manager, Sir Matt Busby, actually played for Manchester City and Liverpool. Yep, before he built the Busby Babes and won the European Cup. He wore sky blue and Merseyside red. But after turning down a coaching job at Liverpool, he joined United in 1945 and rewrote history. The statue outside Old Trafford, built on loyalty forged after the fact. United were the first English club to win the European Cup. 10 years after the Munich disaster, Manchester United achieved the ultimate redemption arc. In 1968, they became the first English club to lift the European Cup. It wasn't just a trophy, it was closure. Bobby Charlton, one of the survivors, scored in the final. Matt Busby, still haunted by that day in Munich, finally held the prize he chased for so long. It was more than football. It was healing. The Red Devils used to be called the Heathens. Before they became the Red Devils, Manchester United were known as the Heathens. Sounds more like a biker gang than a football club. It was Matt Busby again who made the change in the 1960s. Inspired by a French rugby team called the Red Devils, he wanted something a little more menacing than Heathens. It worked, because if there's one thing you don't want to face, it's a devil with a midfield three. United have had an academy player in every matchday squad since 1937. Let's end on something wholesome. Since October 1937, Manchester United have included at least one academy graduate in every single matchday squad. That's over 4,000 consecutive games. From the Busby Babes to the class of '92 to Rashford today, the legacy is unbroken. Whatever era you grew up in, there was always a local lad on the pitch. So, from missing dogs to buried time capsules, and from air disasters to European glory, Manchester United's story is unlike any other in football. Which of these facts blew your mind the most? Drop a comment, hit the like button, and make sure you subscribe for more deep dives into football's rich, ridiculous, and occasionally heartbreaking history. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next one.